So how many of you start the day running out the door with breakfast in your hand, followed by a small to medium-sized lunch and a large dinner? We also tend to snack throughout the day and even grab a bite before bed. However, while what we eat is important, there's a lot of research that suggests that when we eat is important as well. You've probably heard of the circadian rhythm, and if you haven't, go watch one of my other videos. It's the master clock in the brain that governs our sleep-wake cycle, and we actually have a variety of circadian rhythm clocks that govern our daily activity for every organ in the body. Those rhythms exist because every organ needs downtime for repair and even regeneration. The digestive system is no exception. During the day, the pancreas produces insulin, which controls blood sugar levels, and then ramps down at night. The gut has a clock that regulates the daily enzyme levels, absorption of nutrients, and waste removal. Even our gut microbiome operates on a daily rhythm. Circadian rhythm optimizes our health by aligning our biological functions with regular and predictable environmental patterns. When you disrupt your circadian clock or rhythm, such as by skipping breakfast or eating at midnight, it can result in health issues such as weight gain, metabolic syndrome, cancer, cardiovascular disease, and even more. About 20 to 30% of Americans skip breakfast daily, and I'll bet you it's higher than that. Some do it to save time, many to do it in an effort to lose weight. However, studies show that people who eat breakfast daily are less likely to be obese, malnourished, suffer from impaired blood sugar metabolism, or even be diagnosed with diabetes. They are also less likely to have heart attacks and have high blood pressure or even high cholesterol. The American Heart Association recently endorsed biologically appropriate meal timing to reduce the risk of heart disease. Just eating breakfast isn't the only important thing, however. It's crucial to start the day with a breakfast that provides plenty of protein, healthy fats, and minimum of sugars. This helps keep blood sugar balance and proper brain function throughout the day. The timing of our meals in relation to the size is also important. Research shows that having the largest meal in the morning appears to help with weight control compared to having a large meal in the evening. In fact, a person eating at the identical meal at different times of the day might deposit more fat after an evening meal than a morning meal. This is partially because insulin, which is a hormone that helps with blood sugar control, appears to be most efficient in the morning. In addition, we burn more calories and digest food more efficiently in the morning than later in the day, when most of us eat our largest meal. In one study, a group of overweight women with metabolic problems were put on a 1,400 calorie per day diet. Half consumed 700 calories at breakfast, 500 calories at lunch, and 200 calories at dinner or supper, and the other half reversed the pattern. Women in both groups lost weight and experienced reduction in fasting glucose, insulin, and ghrelin, which is a hunger hormone. But in the same time frame, the larger breakfast group experienced added benefits. They lost 2.5 times the weight compared to those who ate the largest meal at dinner. They had significantly greater decrease in fasting glucose, insulin, and triglyceride levels. Their satiety, which is a sense of fullness, scores were significantly higher. They also lost more body fat, especially in the belly. According to the research, a higher calorie breakfast and reduced calorie dinner is beneficial and may be an alternative for managing obesity and metabolic syndrome. Fasting signals the body to start burning stores of fat for fuel. Most of us eat meals and snacks from the time we wake up till shortly before bed, or even sometimes in the middle of the night. In fact, studies show the average person eats over a 15-hour period during the day. This short fasting time period may interfere with optimal metabolism and even cause an increase in weight gain. Researchers put a group of pre-diabetic men through 2 eating cycles. In one phase, they ate meals within a 12-hour window for 5 weeks. In the other phase, they ate the same meals in time-restricted 6-hour windows starting in the morning. They ate enough to maintain their weight, so they could assess whether the time restriction regimen had benefits unrelated to weight loss. The 6-hour meal schedule improved insulin sensitivity, insulin beta cell responsiveness, reduced oxidative stress, increased appetite, and significantly lowered blood pressure. In addition, the men who ate only 1 or 2 meals per day fared better than those who ate 3 meals. A recent review of the dietary patterns of 50,000 adults over 7 years provided added evidence that we should ingest most of our calories early in the day, including a plentiful breakfast, smaller lunch, and a light dinner or supper. The researchers said that eating breakfast and lunch 5 to 6 hours apart and making the overnight fast last 18 to 19 hours may be an effective method for preventing long-term weight gain. Another research study found that subjects who added snacks to their daily meals tended to gain weight over time, while those who had no snacks tended to lose weight. Sufficient exposure to natural light and darkness also plays an important role in how we metabolize food for energy and also for fat gain. At night, the lack of sunlight signals our brain to release melatonin, which is the hormone that prepares us for sleep. In the morning, the light stops melatonin production and we wake up. When we change that signaling, either from a late night meal, artificial light at night, especially the blue light that comes from our TVs, our cell phones, shift work, or meaning working in the middle of the night, flying in or travel, or changing our eating patterns, it confuses our body's circadian clocks. Eating at the wrong time of day strains the digestive organs, forcing them to work when they're not supposed to be working, when they're supposed to be resting. Shift work, or workers in the middle of the night, who account for about 20% of the country's workforce, have problems with disturbed circadian clocks. Many frequently work overnight shifts, forcing them to eat and sleep at odd times, and night shift work has been linked to increased risks of obesity, diabetes, heart disease, and even breast cancer. Studies have linked poor melatonin activity and disturbed sleep-wake cycles with increased risk of dementia and Alzheimer's, cancer, and autoimmune flare-ups, obesity, and even more. There is one important exception to the don't eat right before bed rule. It's for those that have chronic low blood sugar. For those people, keeping blood sugar stable throughout the day and night is critical for brain health, energy level, and even more. If you suffer from the following chronic low blood sugar symptoms, it may be best to take small, high-protein, low-sugar snacks right before bed. Constant sugar cravings, nausea or lack of appetite in the morning, irritability, lightheadedness, dizziness, or brain fog if meals are missed, craving caffeine for energy, eating to relieve fatigue, afternoon energy crashes, waking around 3 a.m. To help maximize your meal timing and metabolism, incorporate the following habits into your day. Make breakfast your largest meal and make dinner your smallest. While this may prove difficult for those who have a busy social life or family that sits down to a big dinner table, make the evening meal smaller whenever possible. Prioritize your protein and healthy fats with breakfast, and minimize sugar and caffeine intake, especially before lunch, to stabilize blood sugar and regulate metabolism. Avoid between-meal snacks and bedtime goodies. Try time-restricted eating pattern or intermittent fasting to maximize weight management. Manage exposure to blue light. Avoid screen light in the evening and install the program that I've mentioned to you before, F.LUX, and it can make a big difference. And a lot of new phones come with a nighttime mode on the phone itself now. Read a book and go take a look at my video that goes over the True Dark glasses. They're great. Install amber or red light bulbs for evening use. If you have chronic low blood sugar, a small before bedtime snack with plenty of protein may be a good idea to keep your blood sugar stable all night and prevent you waking up at 3 a.m. And if you do happen to wake up at 3 a.m., try having a bag of almonds by your bed and taking a few. See what it does for you. While studies suggest that prioritizing large meals early in the day helps support metabolic health, it does not necessarily mean that you should skip dinner. Instead, have your dinners earlier and make them relatively light. The take-home message here is that the old proverb, eat breakfast like a king, lunch like a prince, and dinner like a pauper holds true. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you've learned some things about your health. If you'd like to know more, please go to my website, drcelaya.com, where you can schedule for a free 15-minute consultation or become a new patient. We'll look into your issues with lab work to get to the root cause of your problems. If you'd like to see more videos about your health, please subscribe below.